right, you guys, welcome back to Let's Vibe Podcast, a podcast hosted by Vibe with Aid. In today's episode, I wanted to do another fun little story time episode, and we're going to be talking about DJs I've met, and I've also had you guys submit your stories about DJs you've met. I haven't read through all of them, but from some of the ones I read, it's going to be a really good episode. So buckle up, grab a snack, let's get cozy, and let's vibe into today's episode. Welcome back, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. If you are watching on YouTube, I'm wearing my glasses, and today is the last day I am wearing my glasses ever. That's right, I am getting LASIK eye surgery today, so I'm pretty pumped about it. And yeah, I just wanted to record this episode. It is Saturday before you guys are hearing this. And I wanted to get this ready to go so I didn't have to worry about it. But yeah, today is the day I'm getting LASIK eye surgery. I'm vlogging the whole process so you guys will be able to see kind of how this all came to be and stuff. So if I'm a little bit like all over the place, it's because I'm getting LASIK today. But I'm super excited to be recording on this Saturday morning. It feels like a nice, peaceful Saturday morning to be recording. It's 10:30 right now, and my appointment's at 3, so we have a little bit of time, but I'm excited for today's episode. I personally have some funny DJ stories of DJs that I've met, or at least I think they're funny, but I think it'd be really fun to like kind of look back on them. I wanted to do a video on this, like a story time video or something, but I was like, let's just do a podcast and let's get other people's stories. I think because of my other podcast, Festival Tales podcast, which if you guys haven't checked out, go check it out. I've been really like on this story thing, and I really like submissions and like hearing you guys and stuff. I just went on the biggest tangent, but thanks for tuning in, you guys. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday, wherever you're listening from. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. All that jazz. You can find us on social media at Let's Vibe Podcast. If you guys want to follow along there, sometimes I'll post like updates and story submissions and stuff that I'm looking for there. So be sure to give that a follow. Any upcoming episodes, I don't think I need anything coming up. Let me double check, but I think the next couple of ones are just going to be some solo episodes or some guests. Let me see. I actually have no idea what the next couple episodes are going to be. Maybe I'll have a guest or two. We'll see. We're just kind of going with the flow. I've been learning to be a lot more present in this time and haven't really been planning too much, especially just trying to get through LASIK and stuff right now. After that, we can focus, but I don't need any submissions from you guys right now. But thank you to everyone that did submit. I really, really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's kick off this episode with our listener of the week. This week, we have a review that I don't think I have read this one yet. So this is from Katie B. Killenham. Congrats on being listener of the week. I know you're a huge supporter in general, but I'm going to read your review now. She says, aside from all the fantastic and helpful content, Aid seriously has one of the most soothing voices ever. A wonderful podcast by a stunning soul. You know, a lot of people say that about my voice, that my voice is so soothing. And it's like, I feel like it's not. I feel like it really isn't, but I guess it is. It's just very soothing. What if I did a whole podcast doing ASMR? Is that really soothing? Nonetheless, thank you so much, Katie, for all your support. I really do appreciate it, and I'm sending you some good vibes on your way on this Tuesday and for the rest of your week. If you guys want to be the listener of the week, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, tag me on Instagram where you're listening from, and all that jazz, and you might be the listener of the week. But I really do appreciate all your guys' support. It does not go unnoticed having this little podcast that I have. I appreciate it so greatly, especially because a lot of you guys are at home, not really commuting to work right now. So I really do appreciate any support that you've given the podcast. We're on episode 24, so that's super crazy. So very, very exciting. We're almost like at the halfway point, like of the season, I guess, is what they call it. So on that note, let's kick this episode off with a vibe check. Let's get in that good headspace and whatnot. And I have some updates for you guys. So if you're new to my podcast, we do a vibe check at the start of every episode where we take some deep breaths, we check in with ourselves and whatnot. So what we'll do is we'll take 3 deep breaths. So inhale the first one in and exhale it back out. Inhale again in and exhale it back out. Last one in and exhale it back out. Woo, I already feel good after that. So then I'll ask the following questions and you can think in your head, journal, whatever feels good, meditate on it, whatever you think. Got to do what you got to do. Today when I'm recording this, it's World Mental Health Day, so every day should be World Mental Health Day. You got to look out for yourself. You got to check in on others, you know what I mean? So first question is, how am I feeling today? Do I like this feeling? What could this feeling be trying to teach me? What could make today better, or is there a need to? What are 3 things I'm grateful for today? What could I affirm for myself today, or a goal I can set for myself? Now, I'll go ahead and share how I'm feeling, and you can ponder those questions throughout today. So today, like I said, I'm feeling pretty good. I am so very excited to be getting LASIK today and taking that step. Honestly, if it wasn't for the whole situation we're in, I don't think that this would have been something I would be getting this year. Like a lot of things that have happened this year, I was not expecting to happen, but some of the good things that have happened have been really great. So this is another thing that will hopefully go well. Fingers crossed. I'm keeping good thoughts that everything will go smoothly as it should. But I'm very excited. I've been wearing glasses since I was maybe 2nd grade. 3rd grade, something like that. And I remember the day I found out I had to get glasses, I was like bawling my eyes out because I was just like so afraid that I was going to get made fun of. I already was kind of like feeling like a little bit left out because I was the only Hispanic person, I think, in my classes too. Like I grew up in a very white neighborhood. So I was already kind of feeling like weird about that, I think, and like weird that I wasn't like white or blonde or something like that. And then like adding glasses to it just draws more attention or whatever. Like I was so scared of it. No one ever really made fun of me. It really wasn't the big deal. It was my own insecurities or something. And then I think I got contacts maybe in middle school or high school. It might have been high school. So I have been wearing glasses or contacts or some type of thing to see for like almost, under 20 years maybe, maybe around 15 years or something like that, which is so crazy to think about. And yeah, I don't have too bad of eyesight. I just can't see far away. Like even if I were to take my glasses off, like looking at the camera, like looking out the window, like things are kind of fuzzy. So it'll be very interesting, but I literally will get the surgery today and then I just get to pass out and sleep the rest of the today, which I'm really excited for because I just work so much. I look at screens so much that it's kind of nice that I just get to rest and sleep, and Chase is going to be taking care of me. So very grateful for that. But yeah, we're feeling in good spirits. I worked a lot ahead of this day just to make sure content was going to still be coming out and stuff like that. So we'll be good to go and stuff. So I don't really feel as stressed out. And yeah, I like this feeling. We're going to have a good day today. We're going to get LASIK. We're going to be able to see without glasses, and it's all going to be good. What could this feeling be trying to teach me? I'm in a good mood, so let's just have it. Yesterday, I had like a very big anxious anxiety attack kind of thing happen, but we're good today, so we're just going to take it as it is. I think I just needed to feel that anxiety, let it pass through and whatever. It was very rough, very rough, but just did what I could to like go take a walk. I went and saw Chase and like was with him and got out of my head for a little bit and got out of my space for a little bit. So it was very weird, very weird. It wasn't like a panic attack. It was more just like a wave of anxiety, and it was just like around for like a couple hours. But I'm feeling much better today, so that's great. 3 things I'm grateful for today. Number 1, being able to afford LASIK is really awesome. I've been saving money, honestly, since COVID happened. Just been saving up as much as I can and do the occasional splurge here and there. But since festivals haven't been happening, I really only spend money on food and like things that'll make me feel good. So like a gym membership, going to the chiropractor, stuff like that. The occasional clothes here and there, but the fact that I'm able to afford LASIK and be able to get this year is really going to make such a huge difference and make that investment in myself, because getting glasses and contacts can be really expensive. And I also am getting off of my parents' insurance plan next year because I'll be turning 26. So that won't be fun. So I figured, why not do it now while I'm on their plan? Even though I'm paying out of pocket, but once I got off their plan, then I have to worry about adding vision as insurance. Just adult things, you guys. If you're not an adult, you have stuff. This is all the stuff you have to look forward to. If you are an adult, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I just feel really grateful that I can afford LASIK and that I am doing that and taking that step, because I know it'll be really great for me in the long run for sure. Number 2, I'm grateful for my body and my health. I've been in a very frustrated kind of situation with my body lately. Honestly, since I moved, because I injured my back. So I was in a very weird type of headspace where I was feeling like I can't work out like I want to. But I was still eating well, and like my mind was just kind of going crazy, and I haven't gained any weight. I've literally have stayed the same. But like my mind just like makes me think that I'm not. And so we've been dealing with this all like the past couple of weeks. But I've really just been like, you know what? I'm very happy with where my body is at right now. I feel good. I look good. Like nothing can really take that away. I've just been accepting it. And if I want to have something, I want to have something. This week, I was craving tacos. So I had tacos for lunch every day. I made tacos because I was craving my mom's tacos. I made those tacos. And now that craving is satisfied. You know what I mean? I got some ice cream because I wanted some ice cream. So I've just really been in a newer position with my body and my health this year. Unlike last year where it was just constant like grind mode because I was working with a physical trainer, and like now I've maintained that work that I've done and I haven't lost any of that work, which is really great. But I'm really grateful for my body, and I'm still dealing with some back issues, so I'm trying to do what I can to figure that out so I can get back to having workouts, doing weights and stuff like that. So we're working on it, but I am grateful for my body and my health for protecting me and whatnot, in this time that we're in. It's really important to take care of yourself. So I'm really grateful for that. And then finally, my support system. I have been a little bit isolated, I feel like. I really have just been focusing on myself and focusing on stuff that I have neglected friendships and reaching out and stuff. Like I've tried my best, but we're all trying our best and stuff. But I'm really grateful for the support system I have because they understand, life gets busy, stuff gets busy. There are going to be some weeks where I don't see Chase all week, and then I get to see him on the weekend, and that's great. There are times where same thing. I hadn't seen friends for a couple of weeks, and then I finally got to see them, or I hadn't seen them since the pandemic started. I hadn't talked to them. And so I'm really grateful that I have an understanding support system that realizes like, hey, we're still friends. We're still good. Just because we don't talk every day or we don't see each other from time to time, like it's okay. Because sometimes like I just get really very like antisocial, and I just want to be at home. I don't want to do anything. I just want to focus on myself and like do that. You know what I mean? So I'm grateful to have a support system like that where they're there for me when I need them, but then they also know like we all have our lives and things happen where like we're not always going to be in constant communication, So very grateful for that. And then the final thing, so a goal or affirmation. This is an affirmation that I got from Chubby Wubby on Instagram, and it came at a really perfect time. Last Saturday, I kind of had a little bit of a bender day. It happens. I feel like we've had this conversation multiple time and time again if you have been an OG Vibe Tribe member. we have these slip-ups from time to time where we just overindulge, we overdrink, and then the next day we feel that instant guilt, that instant remorse and anxiety for what we did the day before. So this affirmation I saw while I was in that. And so it says, I am capable of making choices that align with my higher self. So if you don't know what your higher self is, it's basically, I found a description. It says your higher self is not an entity separate from you. It is very much a part of you. When people speak about their higher selves, they're referring to the knowing or awakened aspects of themselves. It is through your higher self that deepest truths and hidden knowledge is accessed. So I see my higher self as being like, this is the person I aim to be. This is the person that is so self-aware, that is just on it, making those decisions for themselves that like will benefit them, that is going to make them feel good and all that stuff. I see my higher self as just like totally like just radiating like the essence of who I want to be. Who I want to be does not, have these bender days. It's okay to get out of the system and stuff, but like I don't need to be drinking like I was drinking in college. I'm 25 now. That doesn't align with my higher self. So that is a affirmation that I have for myself, is that I really want to make sure that the choices I'm making every day, because we make so many choices in a day, really do align with that higher self and that vision I have for myself. And so that is something I'm really going to be working on. Hopefully by the end of 2020, we won't have to keep hearing the same story again and again of like, oh, I'm so hungover, I feel so guilty, like I overdrank, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? So that's something I really want to work on. And that's like an affirmation for myself. A goal probably for this upcoming week post LASIK is I just want to like relax a little bit. I don't want to work too much because I'm looking at a screen for over 10 hours a day. So I really can't be doing that with post LASIK surgery. So I'm going to be taking breaks here and there, but just going to go easy on myself and whatnot. We have a busy rest of October after this LASIK eye surgery, so I'm really just going to try and take it easy this next week. Man, that was a big vibe check. I am going to take a sip of water, take a quick break, and we will be right back. Alrighty, so in this break, I typically like to promote certain things. I do want to call out that I have 2 new codes. One code basically just got renewed, but another code is brand new. So I now have a code, Vibe with Aid, with Tasteful Girls. I've always had a code, but now it's more official. Your girl is an official Tasteful Girls ambassador. Before, Tara, the owner, she had given me a code when I wrote a blog post. And then that code kind of stayed. And so now I'm officially an ambassador with Tasteful Girls. So you can now officially use Vibe with Aid for 10% off on any Tasteful Girls purchase. I absolutely love this brand. It's a mother-daughter team. They are so sweet, so great. The mom's a Taurus, so we automatically love her. And Tara's just so great. Like, I want to have her on the podcast one day because her mentality is just amazing. And then now I officially have a code with So Butterfly Clothing, which is Ashley Gauthier's brand. If you guys haven't checked it out, it is the same brand that created that Enjoy House Music shirt that I wear with the safety pins. So that is one of the newer codes I have added. So that's super exciting. If you guys are ever curious what are my active codes, I have a spot on my website that says it. And then I also have an Instagram highlight reel. So if you want to check that out, those are all my active codes. The last thing I'm going to promote is that Miss Emma Capotis dropped some merch for her podcast, Rave Culture Cast. So go check it out. I definitely copped a beanie and a mug, and I'm so excited for her. I'm so proud of her. It's so incredible that she pulled off getting some merch out because it's not easy. Like, my mom is sending out stickers still if you guys want to get a sticker pack, but I haven't taken that step to get merch just because it seems like such a beast to tackle. So I'm so in awe of her and I admire her so much. So if you guys want to go get some Rave Culture Cast merch, go check it out. I'm sure she has a link in her profile and stuff like that. So definitely go check that out and get yourself some merch. So that is it for this week's break, and we will get back into today's episode. All right, you guys, you might want to grab a drink, might want to grab a snack, buckle up for these stories we got going on. So I am going to talk about some of the DJs I've met. Also, maybe going to talk about some pointers. If you ever run into your DJ, and you don't know what to do, don't know how to act, maybe we'll talk a little bit about that. And then I also have some stories from the Vibe Tribe that they've submitted. So we'll read through. I think we got a couple emails and some DMs. So we got a lot to cover, but I'm super excited. I think when it comes to meeting anyone, it's always nerve-wracking. Even just normal people, I get nervous. And even people get nervous meeting me, which is so crazy to me because I'm just Aid. But a lot of people say that they get starstruck or they don't even say hi because they're nervous. But I'm going to tell you guys can always say hi to me. I will always be there. The only time it's hard to say hi to me is if I'm going to the bathroom or I'm getting food. I'll say that much. Otherwise, it's always a good time to say hi to me. It's always a great time, and I love meeting you guys. But meeting your favorite DJ is something so unreal. I still haven't met probably 3 of my favorite DJs. I still haven't met Porter, Millennium, or Odessa, but I've still met a good chunk of some of my favorite DJs. So I'll talk about some of those stories, but yeah, when it comes to it, just gotta go for it. But you gotta be kind of casual about it. You gotta take some deep breaths and then just go up and treat them like a normal person. Say hello. And yeah, that's probably my best tip is just to kind of be chill about it. Go up, say hi. Nice to meet you. Love your music. Love whatever, Tell them a little bit about yourself if you want to, but also kind of pick up on if the timing is right too. If they're in the middle of getting food or something, might not be a good time. Or if they're in the middle of a conversation with someone else, maybe wait until that conversation's done and then pop in. I've definitely seen some awkward encounters, or definitely seen people overextend their stay of talking to a DJ or something. And sometimes if you see them, especially at a set or something, they just might be vibing out, especially if they're incognito. And I'll talk about some instances with that. And then it's also kind of important to know when it's good to ask for a photo or not ask for a photo. It might be nerve-wracking, but if I see a DJ taking other photos with people, then I'll ask. But if I haven't seen anyone ask for a photo, then I might just say hi and kind of leave it be. You know what I mean? And I've definitely done that before, and I have some stories on that where I've done that. But yeah, some tips on that is just treat them just like regular people, and also recognize they're normal humans too. They might get social anxiety from meeting you guys. Some of these people have really big personas on stage, but then off stage, they might just be really to themselves and whatever, and that's totally fine. That's the same for me. You guys think I'm super outgoing, but really I'm very introverted a lot of the time. Unless I'm really close friends with you, I'm pretty introverted when you first meet me. A lot of the time, people think I'm not having a good time, but I am having a good time. And so I think it's just my Taurus or Capricorn in me or something just gives off resting bitch face. But trust me, I'm having a good time. So yeah, just treat these people like they're humans too, because they are. And yeah, just kind of know your moments of when to go up and say hi or whatever. Of course, if it's a meet and greet, that's obviously an open forum where that's okay. But if you see them out and about and stuff, kind of just know your moment when to meet up with them, because they're just human too, and they could be having a good time, interesting time. They could be going through their own stuff as well. So just wanted to call that out, because I have seen instances where you can tell a DJ is uncomfortable. I've heard on social media certain things, Grizz got his butt slapped or something, and he tweeted about how violated he felt. So it's stuff like that you just have to really be careful about and be conscious about, because they are human at the end of the day, and they want to give back to their fans and meet their fans and stuff. But it's a respect thing, right? So just be respectful is all it is. As for my stories, so I kind of broke it down by first DJ I met, funniest story, most memorable, one I was most starstruck from, and like I kind of like did like superlatives for them because I have met a lot. I was like thinking through, and I think I've missed some still, but I tried to think of the ones that were most memorable for me. So we're gonna kick it off with the first DJ I ever met was Jaws. I was the biggest Jaws stan when I first got into EDM. Not even like I still am. I love Jaws. Like, he is just such a dope human being, one, to begin with, and then his music has always just hit a part of me that just like no other DJ really has ever hit. Just like the wobbly bass house feeling, like Bugatti, that remix, so good. Feel the Volume, a banger forever, so good. But he was the first DJ I met. So I went and saw his show 2017. It was like my Bender time was my second semester senior year of college, guys. I was going show to show, festival to festival. Like, I did not care because I had no credits really. So he was the first DJ I met. And I remember I went and saw Blau, which I have a story about that after this. I went and saw Blau. And then the next day, got in my car with a couple of my friends. We drove to LA, saw Jaws at the Hollywood Palladium, and then literally got back in the car and drove back home like a mad woman. What was I thinking? I have no idea. I wish I had that energy still. But Jaws threw down at the Hollywood Palladium. I think Slushy opened for him, and that was such a really good show. And then right after the show, he went up between the rails and the stage and met a couple of us and stuff. So I did get a photo with him. Didn't get a chance to talk to him, but I consider that my first like DJ that I met and got a photo with and everything. It was super exciting. So yeah, that was like my first DJ interaction, I guess you could say. And then, like I said, the Blau story is I still laugh about this to this day. I totally forgot about this story until, like, I think literally, like, maybe a couple weeks ago, I was explaining the story to someone else because I was talking about Blau. And for those that don't know, Blau is the number 3, capital L, capital A, capital U, but it's pronounced Blau. His full name is Justin Blau. I remember watching a documentary and he was on it, or like video or something on it, so I knew a lot about him. And I kind of used that to my advantage. This is what you don't do. This is what a psychopath does. So, like I said, it was my senior year. I was crazy my senior year. I was wild. I was going out multiple nights a week, getting very intoxicated. But we went to see Blau at, I think it was Maya, Old Town Scottsdale, if you're familiar with Maya. They tend to have a lot of DJs there. And so my friends, Christian and Pooch, we get to Blau. And I had a couple drinks in me. I got very, very bold. And Blau was going on. I go up to the DJ booth and I tell the security guard that I knew Blau from high school in Las Vegas. Bitch, I did not go to high school in Las Vegas. I went to high school in Phoenix. I've never met Blau in my life. And I literally, the security guy, like, let me go on stage, let me go in the booth. And, like, I met up with these other girls. I knew one of the girls in the booth or something because she also went to ASU. And I was up in that booth for, like, a solid part of the set until, like, the manager realized, like, I don't know Blau. But I took so many videos. I was that annoying girl in the DJ booth. I was that girl. And it was just so funny that I, like, pulled that off. And then, like, moments later, just easily escorted out. They didn't kick me out. I was surprised. I thought I would get kicked out of the venue, but I just got kicked out of the booth. And I was like, oh, well, I got some good content, got some good videos of that. Like, that was so fun. That was so close to him. And I was just like, man. Now looking back, like, the day after, I was, like, so embarrassed. But I was going to Jaws, so I was like, whatever. Like, I'm over it. But now, like, looking back, I'm like, that's so funny that they believed me, that I literally said that I knew him from high school. And then they were probably like, this girl does not know him. What is she doing here? So that was like a funny one. Most memorable. So I've talked about this story before. Chris Lake and Fisher at Holy Ship 2019. It was my first Holy Ship. It was meme night. So on Holy Ship, they have different themes. And so on the last day, it was meme night. So a lot of people were different, like memes and stuff. And there is this one photo or video of Fisher that went pretty viral of him being really high. So I got that printed on a t-shirt because it became like a meme, honestly. And so I got that printed on a t-shirt and I wore that on the last day. And Fisher was playing on the outside stage. Forgot what that stage was called. And it was a Dirty Bird Takeover stage that night, which that's where the vibes were at, you guys. That whole night at that stage was incredible. I have another story about that stage after this, but so yeah, I was wearing that outfit and we were just hanging out. And so the way that stage works out is that the DJs have to go through the crowd to get to the stage. It's not like some backstage kind of thing. So I was waiting for Fisher to walk by because I knew his set was coming up. So I was kind of like, all right, like, come on, Fisher. And I ended up meeting Justin Martin in that time. He was really nice. Talked to him for a little bit, got a photo with him. And then he said he loved my shirt and everything. And then the time is getting closer and closer. And everyone in my group around me was like, we have to get this. Like, we have to. Like, everyone was on the mission to make this happen for me, which was really sweet. And, like, the thing with Holy Ship anyways, like, you're going to meet so many people when you go on, like, a cruise ship because everyone is stuck on the boat with you. So, like, there's really no separation between, like, artists and, like, festival goers unless it's, like, they're out on stage or whatever. So it's getting closer and closer to the time and I'm like freaking out. And so finally in walks Fisher. Right behind him is Chris Lake and AC Slater. And everyone's like, Fisher, Fisher. And they like point him to me and I like point at my shirt and he's like, oh my God, like I love it. He gives me a big hug. And AC Slater's like, let's get a photo. And then I turned to Chris Lake. I was like, do you want to be in it? You guys know, like, Chris Lake is, like, one of my favorite artists of all time. Like, house artists. Like, I am obsessed with that man. I saw him, like, 9 times in 1 year. Like, we love him so, so much. And Chris is like, oh, my gosh, yes. And so I give my phone to my friend. And then AC Slater is taking a picture on his phone. Or I think AC Slater actually had my phone. Now that I think about it, he took my phone. And then my friend Trent was also getting photos on like his phone just in case, just to make sure everything was good to go. And then they both gave me hugs and that was it. And I was just like, ugh. I like instantly fell to the ground and was just like, that really just happened. Like that really just happened. I was so... like, that was the thing. That was, like, the best thing that ever happened. And mainly because everyone on Holy Ship, literally, like, day 1, day 2, they all met their favorite artists. And I was like, I haven't seen Chris Lake or Fisher outside of a set. Like, where are they? Like, why can't I see them? Like, I want to meet them. Like, I ran into Green Velvet, Claude Von Stroke, Seven Lions, so much on that boat. But, like, I hadn't run into Chris Lake or Fisher to be able to say anything to them. And so finally on the last day it happened. So manifested that shit, you guys. It was so, so amazing. And speaking of, the DJ I've met the most is Seven Lions, you guys. I ran into that man so many times at Holy Ship, and then I met him again at Imagine. With Seven Lions at Holy Ship, the first night we saw him at Ardaland back-to-back Walker and Royce. He was with his wife. And they were just vibing out to some house music. If you didn't know, his wife is a part of Gem and Tori, which hadn't launched really yet when Holy Ship was around. And so I met him that night. It was like 5 a.m. at that stage. My friend Vanya and I just walked by and said hi as they were grooving, and then we were on our way out. And then the next morning, we were in line for an omelet, and in behind me in line comes Seven Lions and his wife. And I just was like, oh my God, freaking out. So I end up turning around and being like, I know you're getting breakfast. I don't want to be too much of a bother, but just want to let you know your show in Austin at the end of last year was like one of my favorite sets I've ever seen from you. Just wanted to say that, and I hope you have a good then I think I said, I hope you have a good ship or whatever, because that's what people say, like, have a good ship, whatever. And he was like, oh, thank you very much. And I was like, okay, bye. And then I turned back around. And then I ran into him again on the final day of Holy Ship at the Dirty Bird Takeover stage. Him and his whole group were just vibing out next to our group. And so that was another fun little moment, kind of seeing. It's always fun seeing DJs vibe out to genres that they don't play. Because, like, Seven Lions doesn't play house music or anything like that. So it's always fun seeing artists like that don't play that music, like, actually enjoy the music. Like, he was vibing out to Dirty Bird music, like Will Clark and Walker and Royce and stuff like that. And their whole group was having a good time. Like, their whole group was such a fun bunch. And so that was another time. And then I met him again at Imagine. So you guys might have heard this story from Emma, but I had told Emma, like, all the stories of, like, when I met Seven Lions at Holy Ship and everything like that. And then we were just hanging out at Disco Inferno stage. This was after Seven Lions set on day 3 of Imagine. And I look and I was like, oh, Emma, that's Seven Lions' wife, like, standing right there. And I was like, and I was pointing her out to Emma. And Emma was like, yeah, Aid, and that's Seven Lions right next to her, you dummy. She didn't say that I was dumb, but I'm like, oh yeah, like, of course, Aid, like, Seven Lions would be next to his wife at this stage. And so Emma was like, we have to go say hi. I was like, okay, let's go say hi. Like, let's go do it. And so me, her, and Taylor Bruno went up and said hi. And they got to meet them and stuff, and I was just like, oh, I met you guys on Holy Ship, like, it's really good to see you guys, I hope you're having fun, blah 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 blah. And we told Seven Lions, like, how great his Imagine set was, because that set, you guys, easily, like, in my top 10 all-time favorite sets. It was such a good set. So Seven Lions, I have met the most, and so maybe I'll meet him again soon, but definitely one for the books getting to meet him. He's so nice, and he doesn't talk, if you guys notice, in his sets, so it's actually interesting to hear, like, what his voice actually sounds like. And if you guys have been watching, like, the live streams during the pandemic, you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, and so that's it for, I think, Seven Lions. So then the next one is most starstruck. So I think the most starstruck, like, truly the most starstruck I've ever felt meeting a DJ was Fisher at EDC 2018, which, like, 2018 was, like, Fisher's, like, big come up prime, I would say. Like, this was when everyone was about Fisher and, like, talking about Fisher. I think Fisher had, like, 2 or 3 sets that weekend at EDC 2018. Or I think he had 2 sets. He had a solo set, and then he had a back-to-back with Chris Lake to end out EDC 2018. And so it was day 1 at Cosmic Meadow. Actually, Annie Up was playing. So Chris Lake, back-to-back Chris Lorenzo was playing to open up EDC 2018 at Cosmic Meadow. And my friend Riley taps me. He's like, Aid, Fisher's right there. He was basically in front of, like, the sound booth in that area. And I was like, oh my God. And I literally, you guys, I started shaking. I was, like, so obsessed with Fisher. I was, like, the biggest Fisher stan at this point. And I was just like, oh my God, like, I have to go say hi. Like, but I was, like, shaking. And so my friend Rachel was like, we're going to go. And so she ended up taking me, and I said hi. And I was like, I love your music. I love everything you're doing. I'm so excited to see you this weekend, like, all this stuff. And he was so nice, like, you know, his typical Aussie personality and whatever. And so we ended up getting a picture, and super, super cool. So I think that was when I was most starstruck. And then, like, the second one I would say most starstruck was meeting Louis the Child at Electric Forest. I titled this one, like, a cosmic meeting, because, like, it just wasn't what I was expecting, and it was, like, a magical kind of cosmic thing to happen, I feel like, because it was my first Electric Forest. It was day 1. And I think I literally said I was so excited to see Louisa Child or something. I was like, I mentioned Louisa Child that day. And then literally, like, one of the first sets we saw, Louisa Child was hanging out in the back. They were at the forest stage where Melv was playing. And people were like taking photos and saying hi. And so I said hi to them. And I've seen Louisa Child probably the most next to Chris Lake. I want to say, like, I've seen Louisa Child maybe like 10 times. They were like one of the artists that I've always loved since I started listening to EDM and going to shows and festivals. I've always loved them. And so they're such nice guys. Like, if you ever have the chance to like meet them, they're such nice guys. And yeah, I talked about like, oh, I'm going to see you at Camp Nowhere in a couple weeks in Austin. Like, super excited to see you guys then. And they're like, yeah, for sure. We'll see you then. And I'm like, so sweet. And so that was like something I wasn't expecting. That was day one of Electric Forest 2018. And you can see how excited I was in that vlog. If you go back to my YouTube channel, I was like so excited to meet them. And then I have a funny one from Holy Ship about Louis the Child. Day one of Holy Ship was just a trip, you guys. It was just so much fun. And I was just all over the place, honestly, because it's just like a lot of stimulus. It's like going to your first festival, going to your first EDC, but like on a cruise ship, you guys. Like, there's just so much to see, so much to explore. You're seeing artists left and right. And I ran into one half of Louisa Child. I think it was Freddie. Yeah, I ran into Freddie and Weethan. And this story is so funny. I didn't actually meet them, but like I couldn't even like get myself to. So at Holy Ship, when you go to the elevators, you don't know if the elevators are going up or down. So like when you get to an elevator, I typically ask like, oh, are you going up or down? And I get to the elevator and I go, oh, are you guys going up or down? And then like it registers in my head who they are. And it's like Freddie and Weethan. They're both like, and I'm like, never mind. And I instantly just turn around and walk away. And then I think I ended up taking the stairs or something because I was like, I can't do this right now. Like, I can't get in an elevator with both of them and just like act casual. You know what I mean? I was also like a little bit like tipsy, I want to say. So I was just like, nope, I'm not doing this. So then I just like walked away and went upstairs or something. But it was just so funny. So I always think about that one. I said I haven't met Elenium, but I did meet Elenium's girlfriend. That I remember, I don't know why, bringing up Camp Nowhere. That's at a venue called Stubbs where Elenium played last year. And I met his girlfriend, Laura. And all I could ask, I was like, oh my God, you look so pretty. Like, how are you liking Austin? She's like, it's great. It's just super cold. And I was like, oh, I know. And then I asked her where the puppy was. I was going to say Penny, but I don't think her name's Penny. Why am I blanking on what the dog's name is? And she's like, oh, she's sleeping. And I was like, oh, so cute. So I met Elenium's girlfriend. Just didn't get to meet Elenium. One day, my friends, one day. Maybe I'll go to Elenium Red Rocks next year. Fingers crossed. Let's see. Most fun, Sasha Rabati at Dirty Bird Campout. He was doing like this really cool like screen printing thing at Dirty Bird Campout, so I got to meet him. He has this little French accent. He's so cool. He's coming to Austin in a couple weeks for like a socially distanced event, but I don't think we're going to be able to go. But Sasha Rabati's so nice. Definitely loved him. Most wholesome, meeting Lane 8. I got to meet Lane 8. It was, I think, Valentine's Day weekend, and I went with my friend Ryan, and he was doing a meet and greet before the event, and so got to meet him. I got a cute little Polaroid with him, and he's so nice, and I was just like, thank you so much for your music. Like, I went through a car accident and a breakup this year, so like your music has like helped me so much, and he like appreciated that a lot. So that was definitely the most wholesome, and definitely like I still think about it. It was just so great. And then I have some one-off other meetings. Like I said, I met Justin Martin, I met Claude Van Stroke, Manila Killa, I met one half of Camel Fat. And I think that's really it. I can't remember if there's anyone else. And then I have one DJ friend that I just would like to shout out, and that's my girl Blossom. Emily from. She was in my sorority. And now she's Blossom. And so she is more on the base house side of things. But we were in the same sorority. We pledged in the same pledge class. And now she is a DJ. And it's so cool watching her grow and stuff. She came to play in Austin and I went and saw her then. But yeah, it makes my heart like just so happy to see her doing her thing. And we still talk from time to time. Right now we've been talking a lot about social media stuff. So her and I have been like bouncing ideas off each other for social media. But yeah, that's a really cool friend of mine. I got to see her first play. She opened up for Slushy back in Arizona, and that was in 2017. And we all went out, like a group of us from our sorority, to go support her. She ended up dropping out of the sorority, but like we still supported her and it didn't matter. Like she dropped the sorority just so she could pursue DJing and stuff. And now she's like killing it and doing so good. She has like I think Twitch streams like twice a week, I want to say. So definitely go check her out. I want to shout her out because she's so great. So that is it for my stories. Man, I feel like I was talking a lot, but there was some really funny moments. Man, we're already like 45 minutes in. This is going to be a long episode, you guys. So we are going to be reading some of your guys' stories. So I'm going to pull some of those up now. My friend Anita, she had sent a voice memo. I was going to see if I could play it, but I don't think I can. But she said that they hung out with DJ Carnage until like 8 a.m. And she said she had a video somewhere on Instagram. She said my friend at the time was a mess and he like didn't want her around anymore. And she said, nothing too crazy. I wasn't really fangirling too much either because whatever, it's Carnage, LMAO. I also snuck backstage one time wasted because I wanted to see if he remembered me. I was blacked out and then I got in trouble. So IDK how I even got back there. LMAO literally was about to walk on the stage. Baby Danita was a wild one while wasted. I can relate to that so much. You get so much courage when you are drunk or like on whatever to like go meet DJs and stuff. So that's super funny that she met Carnage. So I have a couple of emails, so I'm going to read this first one. It's about Grizz. So I love Grizz. Grizz is so great. This is from Emma. She says, hi, Aid. I live in Boston and was traveling by myself to Worcester to see Grizz. I'm awful at public transport, but this trip consisted of 2 buses and a train. Geez. So I left really early to account for any travel time lost if I missed a connection or anything like that. Thankfully, traveling went smoothly, but I got to the venue way too early, like 3 hours ahead of doors. I decided to kill some time by grabbing a drink at a local bar, so I went into the first one I saw and was immediately mortified and almost walked right back out. I was all dressed up for an EDM show, shiny purple faux leather leggings, a teeny glittery crop top, pinned out hat, face gems, the works. Honestly, I felt pretty cute, except that the bar that I'd walked into was more of a bar restaurant with families still eating dinner. The looks I got still low-key haunt me. Before I could walk out the door, the hostess grabbed me and seated me at the bar. I was pretty embarrassed, but ordered a beer and tried my best to avoid eye contact without anyone. As I finished my drink, I looked around a bit, which is when I realized that this whole time I was sitting right next to Muzzy Bear, who was sitting right next to Grizz. I think I did a quadruple take trying to wrap my mind around what was happening. I started frantically texting all my friends who were going to meeting me at the show, asking what to do, but was so starstruck I stayed frozen in my chair until they started to get up to leave. The interaction is a bit of a blur, but I knew this was a now or never situation, so I hopped up and blurted out something along the lines of, I'm so sorry to bother you, but I'm going to the show tonight and would never forgive myself if I didn't say hello. Can I have a hug? They were both so kind and said yes. Muzzy was opening the show that night, so I told him I was excited to see his solo performance. And when I got to hug Grant, all I could say was, thank you for it all. He gives such a solid hug, I never want to let go. I know Grizz gives good hugs. Ugh, I want to meet him so bad. And then they left and I sat back down at the bar and basically burst into tears. I was so overwhelmed with emotion. It all happened so quickly, and sometimes I kick myself for not asking for a photo, but I'm just ultimately thankful I had this rare opportunity to meet someone whose music I loved for years and be able to express gratitude for the joy he's brought into my life. Thank you for reading my story, and thank you for vibing with us and always being so vulnerable and open with your tribe. Gosh. And that's from Emma Peach. Her Instagram is @ERPeach. That's so sweet. Like I said, I feel like Grizz would give really good hugs. He seems like a really good hugger. The next one we have is from Taryn Featherolf. She said, sorry if this was too late. I typed it all up and then completely forgot to send it this morning. No worries, girl. We're recording it now, so you are just in time. She said, I was at XS at the Wynn in Vegas with my girlfriend, in parentheses, now fiance. We're both girls, which I guess is relevant to the story. And we saw the Chainsmokers, in parentheses, they were my first EDM loves, have a tattoo of the crown on the cover art of Kanye and everything. We were in GA, or whatever you call the not VIP part, in Vegas. The show was ending. Alex was just messing around on the decks, and we saw Drew walking towards the exit. We were 2 of the maybe 6 people who weren't in VIP, so wandered that way. And as we did, security stood in front of us and said, you can't go here. Drew is coming this way. So, of course, we stood there. As we walked over, my girlfriend whipped her phone out and pushed me right under the security guard's arm to Drew. And he hugged me, and I quickly showed him my Kanye crown tattoo, and he told me it was amazing and kissed the top of my head. I was a little starstruck, and security finally told us we had to leave, and I was speechless. It was seconds, but it was so cool. That's awesome. Number 2 is this past New Year's I spent at Rhythm and Vines, a festival on a vineyard in New Zealand. What the heck? That sounds so cool. The last night, New Year's Eve, Jaws was closing and my fiance and I dressed up as Shark Boy and Lava Girl and wrote "Bite This" on our butt because we stan Jaws. Early in the night, we were feeling good and we were at our favorite stage tucked in the woods. We saw a guy wearing a "Bite This" hoodie from Jaws' record label and went up to say hi, thinking it'd be cool to see a fellow fan. We tapped on his shoulder and he didn't turn around, and it looked a lot like Jaws without really thinking about it. After 3 more tries, we finally got his attention and said we liked his hoodie and tried to explain our Shark Boy and Lava Girl outfits and the "Bite This" on her butt. This guy just said cool. My fiance ran off to go dance, and I was left a little underwhelmed and expecting a little more enthusiasm from a fellow fan. Upon further reflection the next morning, the guy was my height with a baby face just like Jaws. A "Bite This" hoodie, including international shipping, would cost over $120. So odds of anyone there having one is slim to none, and any regular person would have no problem stopping to talk to some random people. But an artist probably wouldn't want that attention. Basically, we're 99% certain we met Jaws at a festival in New Zealand and didn't realize it until the next day. Yeah, see, that's like an instance where you just don't know because, like, they might not want that attention, especially if they're incognito like that. But that's still super funny, and that outfit sounds super cute, and I really need to look into what Rhythm and Vines is because, hello, that would be so dope to go to New Zealand for a festival. My little, in college, she's from New Zealand, and she went and did a New Year's festival. I wonder if it was that same one. I'll have to ask her. That one sounds so cool. Thank you for your submission, Taryn. I got some ones that were just like on a story question box, so we got one that says, lost frequencies in a small club after I absolutely smashed my statistics uni exam. Love that for you. Met Sullivan King. I died. He was beautiful. Short and concise, but to the point. Sid played at my college for a concert and ended up staying at the frats for a late night party. That would be so dope. Sid's so cool. Taylor said, met DJ Snake 2 times. First time was after Phoenix Lights. Got a pic, and he is indeed very tall and very French. LOL. She also said, also met Dad Sick before he was banished from EDM. Was very drunk during and after his set. Evan said, meeting Skrillex on first Holy Ship, taking shots at the pool bar is a memory I can relive forever. See, that's a dope thing about Holy Ship is that, like, you can meet artists, like, left and right, and everyone's super sweet. Felicia said, I met Armin once. It was kind of funny. DM me if you want the story. Oh, I forgot to DM her. Whoops. And then my friend Kaylee's like, haha, we know mine. And she met Will Clark, which is a funny story, but she didn't submit it, so I can't share it. And then we have some other stories that I got DMs from, so let's get into these. Schmexy Val said, hi, Aid. I got to meet Casper when he played in Chicago. After the show was over and the lights went on, my husband and I were taking our time to exit the venue. Then we started hearing other people get really loud and realized that Casper had come out to do a meet and greet. So we stood in line and waited to take a picture with him. He was super nice and down to earth. One of the best nights ever. So cool. Alex Cantu 11 said, okay, so basically I was in Japan last summer and Martin Garrix was playing a festival there. Fuji Rock Festival. That sounds so dope. But I wasn't able to go. After his set, he had a picture with fans on a story with a caption, can't wait to see you all tomorrow. So naturally I was like, what? I screenshotted that story and posted it on the Garrix subreddit asking if anyone knew what he was talking about. Someone replied with the link that had a giveaway for people that listened to Martin Garrix for a certain number of hours on a Japanese music streaming service. My family and I were touring a temple, and I spent the entire time Google translating the giveaway rules and the location and what time it was going to take place. I figured out it was going to take place at this museum, but I couldn't get in because I didn't win the giveaway. So the next day we go to this museum, which was actually super cool. And when we finished, we waited outside for Martin. We waited like an hour for him, and then he arrived with his bodyguard and his photographer, and there were some fans waiting outside too. I was able to talk to him for very little because it was a really crazy situation, but I did manage to get a pic that's on my feed. It was really wild, but really fun, and I got to meet my favorite DJ. That was really long, sorry. No, don't apologize. That's so cool. I imagine Martin Garrix is like a sweetheart. He seems like he would be. I love the lengths you went through to go find him and figure that out. Like that's major props on that. The next one we have is from Cookie Valentine. She said, "Hi, I saw your post and I literally had to share my favorite DJ meeting story. So I live in Las Vegas and it's super normal to see your favorite DJ jaunting around town, but my favorite encounter was when I finally met Cascade. Back in the day, Cascade used to be resident at Marquee, Las Vegas, his first Vegas residency, and there were rumors that he was going to be swooped up by wind, so I kept going to every show just in case it was true. One seemingly regular Monday, I felt the vibes and I knew this was it. The club wasn't busy at all, and I went with my homemade Cascade flag that I took to every single Cascade show. The end of his set nears, and one of the guys that works there asked if I wanted him to sign my sign, and I said, heck yes, thinking this is the closest I'll ever get to meeting the elusive Cascade. As he finishes his set, he signs my side and proceeds to carry it in his hands, walking off stage. I started to freak because he is bringing it to me. The club is basically empty. My friends I came with left, and it was all worth it because he gives me my sign, and all I'm thinking is, don't cry, don't cry. Well, I started crying, and he asked me, did I make the sign myself? And I told him, yeah. And you know what? Cascade fucking wiped my tear away from my face. I almost died right there. Then we chatted for a few minutes, and his manager asked if I wanted a picture, and we took one, and yeah, that's it. The only time I've met Cascade after 47 shows. Holy moly. That's amazing. That's so sweet. I have a friend, Brits Blossoms, I think, met Cascade. Now that I think about it, Cascade seems like a really dope person to meet as well. Zamora said, hiya, I've never done one of these, but I followed you for some time and saw your post for your podcast. So cool. I have a couple of DJs I have met, all my fave. So I met Zed in 2015 when he came on tour to Houston. It was my first show seeing him live, and so I was excited to be able to go to the bus and try and meet him. There was a crazy ton of people, and when I say I was nervous, like, OMG, I was nervous, LOL. I felt like I smelled bad from, like, dancing, and so I had borrowed my BF's shirt. I was fudging upset that I didn't look cute anymore, but whatever, And so this dude took, like, 5 ever to take his pics with him, so he was about to leave, and I, like, pretty much attacked him and asked for a pic. My BF offered to take it, in parentheses, should have let him. I had a stupid Android back then, and yeah. Let's just say I got the crappiest video of me saying it's a video, and so he had to leave, and I don't have a pic, but like a 2-second video. OMG, that was long. Man. That's rough. I also met Steven Anglong from Dada Life, but just wasn't like me talking to him, but more like he took my phone to take a pic of me and some random people at a show, so that was cool. Okay, sorry, and last I met Kid, and that was probably the best one because I had this shirt custom made, and he walked by and said, cool shirt. I was like, thanks, totally zoned out. Then my BF was like, hey, that's Kid. So I ran after to get a pic, and yeah, this made me miss shows. Aw, that's so awesome. Zed 2015 show must have been amazing because that was like a good time for him. My friend Britt from Brits Blossom said, I was walking around Amsterdam in 2015 with my family during the day, sightseeing, and walking right in front of us was Borgor. I wasn't sure if it was him, so I said Borgor, and he turned around and stopped and spoke to my family for a few minutes. He was so nice. Aw. This one's from Emma. She said, I met Spencer Brown at his show in Dallas, and he was so nice. He took a pic with us. I also met Fairplay in Dallas. It was a super small show in the winter, and there was like 15 people there. After the show, we talked to him for a while, and when we were leaving, he asked me for a hug. Aw. Okay, Gabby said, I met Nick and Steven from Cosmic Gate after a show once. They were taking pictures with everyone, so I had my phone ready with my best snap filter, and they both commented on how good that picture was. Although I looked like a sweaty mess, they looked great. They were so cool to take the time to talk to me, even though They had a long people line waiting for them. I also met Asterix after a show once in Canada. He was super chill and helpful. Tip, if you take a picture on Snap, have them sign it. Oh, that's cool. She put a little picture too of them signing it. I also met Claude Van Stroke after a show too. He seemed a little too busy to want to take pics, but I got one. And then my friend Braden said, met Party Thieves on his tour with Yoltron a couple years ago and had the best time with them. Just walked around Phoenix shooting the shit with them. Then Party Thieves came back next year for Gold Rush and hit me up to hang out when he was in town, which was nice. He even offered to play a track of my choice during his set, which he did. He's generally one of the nicest DJs I've ever met, and after a set at Gold Rush, he messaged me asking if it was lit and how he liked our time hanging out. I seriously appreciate Jared so much. Aw, that's sweet. Peyton said, I was at Buku 2017 standing in the back for Deadmau5 and out came Hooks from Zed's Dead and his girlfriend Chanel. I noticed him right away and said to my boyfriend, oh my god, it's Hooks. Hooks sees me and gives me a what's up head nod, so I ask him for a photo and kindly stops to take it. I was kind of nervous to ask for a photo because I didn't want to bother him, but he seemed so chill about it. Zed's Dead would be so dope to me. Ugh. My friend Amy said, I met Closey at Coachella 2019. It was Sunday night in the middle of the polo fields. We were bouncing around from stage to stage and walked past a small group of people who were speaking French. Stopped dead in my tracks and was like, are you Closey? And she was like, yes, I am. She was so sweet and fun to be around, and her crew was awesome and so happy we stopped to say hi. She let us take a pic with her. Oh, what a queen. I love Closey. Alina said, got to meet Sullivan King in Montreal to help my friend with his interview. When we got to his little trailer to do the interview, the first thing Sully did was offer us a shot. He was the sweetest and so funny. I regret every day that we didn't take that shot. Sullivan King must be so cool. I love him. Like, he's so funny on Twitter and like social media and stuff. Melissa, this one's from Melissa. She said, hey Aid, we had met Slushy at a meet and greet he announced a couple of weeks before his LA show last year. He was so nice, such a sweetheart, and so tall. We had a totem of his logo that we had made for Hard Summer the year prior. He signed it and took pictures with it and with us. We literally hung out with him and his team for 30 minutes, and I talked to him about completely normal things. I will always support him and never forget our experience meeting him. I love Slushy. I have such a like soft spot for Slushy in my heart. Like, he seems so nice. I didn't realize he was tall. I always thought he was short, so that's interesting. That is a good note to end on. That was such a sweet one. All of you guys' stories were really sweet. I was afraid I was gonna get like a story of like a bad experience. I know they're out there, but surprisingly these were all pretty wholesome and sweet. So thank you to everyone that submitted your stories. It really means a lot to me. Makes these episodes a lot more fun. I hope you guys enjoyed my stories of all the DJs I've met. And hopefully there'll be more to come. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of Let's Vibe. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, all that jazz. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your week, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Stay vibey, Vibe Tribe. Bye.